Hey, good morning to all my construction entrepreneurs, or good afternoon, depending on where you're at, what time you're viewing this. Nonetheless, I hope you are doing well. So, let me talk about 5 tips on how to pass the California Contractor State Exam. Okay. Tip number 1, pick a quiet place to study the night before. It's very important you consume, you get in as much information as you can the night before, right? We don't need to cram the information in, but we want to do a light study. We want to read undisturbed. If you have kids, or maybe a wife, or just maybe the house is full of people, you want to go into a room and go ahead and study quietly by yourself, and kind of just absorb and kind of just read through the materials and understand what you're reading. Make sure you really focus on the things that challenges that you have for the questions or problems, or things that you just need to remember. So you want to take that time, just find a place the night before to study, a quiet place. Okay. Tip number 2, get plenty of rest the night before. That means that you need to go to bed early, right? This is not a time for you to go out to the bar and, hey, I want to celebrate that I'm going to be taking my test. No, we'll celebrate after you pass. Okay. So you want to go to bed early. Okay. Get some rest. When you're well rested, definitely you're gonna be there to perform at 100%. You don't want to go up there tired. You want to, like I said, for a place that you want to be at, you want to have your best suit. So get your rest. Okay. This is a big day. You need to treat it as such. And it's a very, very serious and very challenging test. Okay. Number three. Number 3 is get to the test location 2 hours early. You want to get there early. So that means that you have an early day the night before, right? That means you need to study, right? You need to get to bed early because you need some rest. That way you can get up earlier. That way you can be there 2 hours early. Okay, let's say your test time is for 8 o'clock. I'm telling you to be there at 6 o'clock. Okay. And I have already taken the test. For the people that follow me, that have attended the school, have attended some of my estimating classes, I hold a general engineering license, an A license. I also hold a general B license, and I hold a C8 concrete specialty license. So I have taken the test 3 times. And each time I get there early. So you want to get there early, kind of get a feel for, where the class is going to be, because you don't want to be late, go up the elevator, go to the actual office if the building is open. You don't have to go inside, but just know exactly where it's at. Come back down, maybe even have your book, your course material that we give you, maybe have that in your hands, going over some questions. Maybe going over some hard problems that you need to remember, some formulas. Walk around, kind of relax, feel good, because you might be a little bit of tense. Just relax a little bit. Know that, hey, you're going to walk out of there as a licensed contractor. Just kind of get the feel, and you're going to definitely feel a lot better. Okay. And then plus with those 2 hours early, you can get some study time in. You want to definitely get some more study time in. Let's go to tip number 4. All right. Tip number 4 is a 2-part tip. Okay. Tip number 4, one thing I want to share is this. If you're retaking the test, okay, try asking the rep that's directing you where to sit. Try to ask that lady, hey, can I sit in the same seat that I was in before? So you don't pose the question that way. You just say, hey, can I sit in seat 23? Especially if you remember what seat you were in. If you could just point at that seat, that would be great. Now, the reason for that is that there was a time where I had to retake the general B. My trade, my experience really deals with the A and C, doing concrete and asphalt, mainly in public works. So I didn't do a lot of the B experience. So a lot of things that they were asking me in the test, I was not familiar with. So I had to retake the B test. And I really didn't study either. So I was really looking for things that can help me out with passing this test. Okay. And one of the things I did, I asked, hey, can I sit in that seat there? Is anyone sitting there? And surprisingly, she says, yeah, sure, you can sit there. And luckily, I got the same test and I did better. So that's the hopes. If you're retaking, ask to sit in the same seat. Maybe you might get the same test instead of one of the 7 different tests that we hear that's been in circulation. So ask to sit in the same seat. Part 2 to this 2-part question, 2-part tip is take a minute. Once you sit down, take a minute to breathe. Get in the mindset, get your mentality right, and focus on, hey, I realize that once I get out of this seat, I'm going to be a licensed contractor. Think positive thoughts, okay? I'm going to be a licensed contractor after these 2 hours or 4 hours if you're taking, or 4.5 hours if you're taking the law and the trade course, okay? Tip number 5. Let's go into tip number 5. Listen up, okay? You have to listen to this. During the test, it gives you options to save questions that you're unsure about, right? You don't have to answer them now. You can save them to answer them later. Now, that does several things, right? A lot of times when you put questions off to the side because you're not sure about the answer, a lot of times other questions may answer that question. That's a great thing. So you'll run into another question that give the answer to the question that you set aside maybe 10 questions ago. So that's one thing. You want to really pay attention to that, okay? Anytime you get an answer from one question, that answers another, definitely want to take advantage of that and make sure you apply that to the question, okay? Next, once you set these questions off to the side, you go through the whole test, right? And now you get down to the end and you have maybe 20 questions left over that you were unsure about. Walk away, ask to use the restroom, go to the restroom, take a breather. You still got time. You should still have time. If you don't, then hey, you might want to speed up and sit down and just go ahead and go ahead and try to complete that so you can make that time frame. But like me, I had enough time. I went through the test at a great pace, and I had a list of questions at the end, maybe about 20, 25 questions that I was just unsure about. Even if I was unsure a little bit, I put that questions off to the side. Then I go to the bathroom, use the restroom, wash my hands, put some, wet my face, kind of get refreshed. And then I'll go back in there, and once again, mindset. I'll take a breath. And then I'll say, hey, when I get up from this seat, I'm going to be a licensed contractor. And you're going to give your all going in these 20, 25 questions. And then I'll open them back up and I'll go through them. And I'll go through them and I'll do my best on them. Okay. And that's the tip I want to give that. I want you to think about a few questions at the end. Let's say if you don't, question you say, remember to know that'll be all the tips that I have. So so those are the 5 tips to help you pass the California Contractor State Exam. Thanks for showing up. Make sure you like this video, Subscribe to the channel for more great content. And if you're thinking about getting your contractor's license, come see us. We got some great things in place. We're offering a lot of material to you for your license. And then we're also taking it a step further by offering a program for you to be joined into to learn how to take your first steps, getting your jobs, learn about estimating, learn about insurance. What insurance do I need? How do I get this insurance? We're just covering everything that you need to know as a new contractor within this program. And it's called the New Contractor Study Group. So you get included in that when you get your license. So it's no more getting your license and just getting pushed out into the world and you're told just to figure it out. We're going to help you figure it out. We're going to help you get to the next level. So make sure you sign up with us, and I'll see you at the next class. Thank you.